What if I told you there was an herb that can help you fight off your cold in just 24 hours? This isn't a gimmicky internet claim. This is a plant that has been studied in numerous clinical trials and has been revered by folks for centuries. You've probably walked right past it without even knowing, and the plant I'm talking about today is echinacea. Today we're gonna break down all things echinacea. We're gonna get into its uses, its actions, its energetics, and how you can utilize it in your daily life. Let's get into it. Welcome back to my 10 Minutes of Herbalism series, and today we are sipping on some homemade chai tea that I made, and I hope you've been enjoying this series thus far. I have to ask before we get started for you to go ahead and subscribe and like this video. Your likes and your subscribes really helps get this information out to the people. The reason I have this channel is to really make sure that folks are getting true herbal education, and I want it to be spread. So if you can go ahead and like this video before we get started, that would be amazing. And let's get into echinacea. Echinacea, also known as Echinacea purpurea or Echinacea angustifolia, depending on the species, is a plant that you probably have walked right past. It is a beautiful purple flower, and it's also known as purple coneflower. A lot of gardeners plant this because it is a truly beautiful plant to see. It comes in shades of purple and pink, and without even knowing it, it has a ton of medicinal uses. But it's also amazing because it attracts our pollinators that we all need in the garden. So we're talking bees and butterflies. So you can obviously go ahead and plant this for its beauty, but there is so much medicinal goodness in this plant, and I'm so excited to talk about it today. So what's amazing about this plant is that all parts of the plant, for the most part, can be utilized for its medicinal properties. Mostly when you're taking an echinacea tincture, it's the root that we are desiring because a lot of the plant's energy goes down into the root, and so it tends to be more potent. But there has been numerous clinical trials that I've been reading recently that speaks about its aerial parts, meaning its leaves, its flowers, its stem, that tends to actually have more medicinal properties. So the whole entire plant is a medicinal powerhouse. So traditionally, echinacea has its roots in indigenous medicine, as most herbs are rooted in indigenous medicine, right? Echinacea traditionally was used amongst indigenous tribes for things like colds and sicknesses, infections. It was known as a blood purifier. It was pretty much known to be like an antibiotic. In the late 1800s, when the European settlers came, they adapted much of the same practices as the indigenous tribes, and they utilized echinacea in very similar ways. It was used for infections, for the immune system. It was also used topically to help heal wounds, and it truly quickly became a household name for fighting any colds and sicknesses. It was known for its resilience and helping to strengthen the immune system. So a lot of the traditional uses is kind of what we still use it for today. So shout out to the indigenous folks. So let's get into some herbal energetics. So when you actually first take an echinacea tincture, or if you bite into the fresh root, it gives you a tingling sensation. It almost makes your mouth go a bit numb. And we speak to this as kind of speaking to the energetics of the plant. And the plant itself is very cooling and drying. So when we think of echinacea, it actually just cuts through any heat that is built up in the body, and it brings a cooling effect. So when we're talking about heat in the body, we're talking about any infections, any colds, any built up tension, any built up mucus. Echinacea is amazing for bringing that cooling energy into. So that's why it's really amazing for people that have colds, right? Because if you have a cold, you tend to have a lot of heat, a lot of mucus, a lot of buildup. Echinacea is cooling in that sense. Echinacea is also really great for bringing movement in the lymphatic system. So energetically, it brings circulation. And if you know, the lymphatic system is all throughout the body, and it's responsible for moving waste throughout the body. So echinacea is really great for helping to stimulate the lymphatic system and get things circulating in the body. This is especially great for if you're sick. You really want that movement in the body, that circulation, to help flush out the toxins and the sickness, to get you back into a healthy space. So let's get into a few herbal actions of echinacea. Echinacea's number one herbal action is that it is an immune stimulator and it is an immune modulator. Immune stimulator means that echinacea has a stimulating effect on the immune cells within our body, so it kind of has an activating effect on our immune cells. And an immune modulator means that it helps to regulate the immune responses in our body. So this means that echinacea is not just boosting your immune system, but it's also helping to regulate your immune system and keep everything balanced. And with that as well, echinacea is also a lymphatic. So that means that, like I said in the previous section, it has a stimulating and circulating effect on our lymphatic system, which is great for helping to remove waste, pathogens, infections in the body. Another herbal action of echinacea is that it's antimicrobial and antibacterial. So this also speaks to the cleansing and clearing effects that echinacea has on the body. Studies also show that echinacea has an effect with increasing the white blood cells in our body, which is a part of our body's frontline defense system. So that's why taken at the onset of a cold, echinacea is really helpful for reducing the severity and the duration of any colds. So as we see, echinacea is kind of like a warrior plant. It is amazing for helping to sharpen your defenses. It's not the type of plant that you would take every single day, but if you have an acute cold that arises, you want echinacea on your shelf in your herbal apothecary for those times. So let's get into some contraindications. Now, while echinacea is an amazing plant, as we see, it is not for everybody. Now, because it has such an impactful immune stimulating effect on the body, it is not safe for those that have autoimmune conditions because it could actually overstimulate or understimulate your immune system. So it really it's just not a suitable plant for those with autoimmune conditions. And lastly, because there's just not a lot of research, as all herbs, I have so many opinions about this particular topic. There's just not a lot of research within the herbal world because not a lot of money has been put into this. So you definitely want to be cautious if you're pregnant. It doesn't have any emmenagogue effects on the body, so it should not impact any existing pregnancies. But again, there's not a lot of research, so do your own research, come up with your own assumptions. Okay, so now how to use echinacea in your daily life. As I've been hinting to, I do want to expand upon this. Echinacea is not an herb that you're going to take every single day, okay? So make sure you drill that home. This is not a daily tonic, okay? It's the type of herb that you take at the onset of a cold. So as soon as you feel that itching in your nose or that tingling in your throat, you're going to want to start to utilize echinacea. Now, dosing is really, really important, especially if you're trying to eradicate a cold. You want to take it frequently and consistently for maybe 3 to 5 days. So if I feel a little itching in my throat, I'm gonna go ahead and take my echinacea tincture, probably 2 dropperfuls in just a little bit of water. And I'm gonna take that every 2 to 3 hours. Now, herbal medicine is nothing like pharmaceutical medicine, so you don't just take one pill and forget about it. You have to be really consistent, but it is highly, highly effective. So another way to utilize echinacea is to use it in a throat spray. Like I said earlier, it does have that numbing sensation when you bite into the plant, and so that also translates well into being helpful for soothing any irritated mucous membranes in the body, like your throat. So it is really effective in a throat spray. And overall, echinacea works really, really well alongside other herbs like golden seal, elderberry, and that is why I created this tincture. This is called Daily Defense. It has echinacea, elderberry, golden seal, reishi mushroom, and orange peel for that delicious flavor at the end. And I really, really love Daily Defense because it does help me to keep my immune defenses strengthened. So in the directions of the tincture, it says to taper after 2 weeks because, like I said, echinacea is the kind of herb that you want to use more on an acute basis. And so you utilize it for a little bit, you take this tincture for a little bit, then you taper the use, you stop taking it, and you pick it back up again when it's needed. This is the type of tincture that you want to have on your shelf, or you can honestly just pick up any echinacea tincture, make it at home. You want to have it available for yourself and your family. And the way that I take tinctures is because I guess I do this all the time. You'll get there. If you're not there, you'll get there. It is alcohol, you know, it's alcohol, but it's also just really, I don't know, I love to taste the herbs. So with all of that said, I hope this has given you a lot of information about echinacea. Echinacea is an amazing plant. It's not a cure-all, it's not a magical plant. It's one of those plants that you want to have on your shelf in times of defense. It works with your body, it works with your immune system, and it helps to keep you defended so that you don't have to be sick for an extended period of time. There are plants that are available to us on God's earth that He has created to help heal us. And so I hope that this was informative, and if you've utilized echinacea in your life in any way, I would love to hear about it below. And any other information that you want to put about echinacea in the resources below, I love to utilize the comment section as a space for resources. I want people to go in the comments and be like, oh, this website is here, or you know, this bit of information that I might have not added is in here. So let's utilize the space as a community. Let me know what other herbs you guys want to hear about next. And I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for being here. Till next time, peace.